Welcome to another episode of Book Covers DIY. I've had a lot of fun designing covers for fiction books, but today I want to shift gears to help all of you nonfiction writers out there too. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to design a fantastic book cover for marketing or business purposes. But guess what? If you're working on any nonfiction book related to your business, these steps will work like magic for you too. So let's get started. Okay, so here we are on canva.com. This is a free website anyone can join. Once you register and log in, you'll be taken to a homepage that looks similar to this. Today we're going to be working on an ebook cover. If you are in need of a physical book cover, you can still follow all the steps we're doing today and then hop on over to my paperback print book cover designing tutorial. I'll put the link in the description box below. In that video, I explained to you how to also design the spine and the back cover of your book. But for this video, we're just going to work on an ebook. So right here on this main menu, you can see there is an option for book cover. You can also find it here when you click more, or you can simply type it into the search bar. Okay, it's going to take us over to our book cover templates page. You can scroll through here and choose any template you'd like to start with. You can also use the filters if you don't want to see any of these fiction books. You can click on all filters. And let's go down to theme. And depending on what your business is, you can select one of these options. Here's one that just says business. I'm going to check that box and click apply, and you're going to see all of these fiction books are going to disappear. And here we are under the business category, and there are 597 templates to start with. So you can scroll through here and find one you like, and then customize it for your business with your business name, logo, etc. Today I'm going to show you how to design one from scratch. So we're just going to come up here to create a blank book cover and click on that. It's going to take us to our design area. As you can see, we still have our templates over here on the left. If we decide we want to go back and start with one of those, you can search through there for business or marketing. So the first thing we want to do is choose a background color. So I'm going to click on the large rectangle. Once you click on there, you're going to get this purple box, and you're also going to get a little rainbow box or rainbow square right here. This is where you will choose your background color. If you click in there, you're going to get all of your color palettes. You can scroll down to default colors or choose a gradient, or you can come up here to the little rainbow square, click on the plus sign, and then choose a custom color by moving the slider to whichever color you want, and then choosing the shade with this slider. You can also click on gradient if you want to choose a gradient. You can see over here it's changing from yellow to green. You can change that by clicking anywhere in these boxes. And you can see I changed it from orange to yellow. But for today, we're going to stick with a solid color. And I think I'm going to come down here and choose this really bright, bold yellow. It's like a nice golden yellow. I think that's going to really help this business or marketing book stand out today. So I'm choosing that. You can choose any color you like or your own brand colors. Next thing we want to do is select an image. To do that, you can come over here to the toolbar on the left, and you will see our second option is elements. If you click in there, here is where we are going to search for a graphic or a photo or something to place on our book cover. I think I'm going to see if there's something with a light bulb. I typed in light bulb and hit enter. I have choices. I can look under graphics or photos. If I click on see all, I'm going to get a bunch of different light bulb graphics. Some of them are animated. If you don't want an animated feature, you can come up here to this filter, click on there, and then you will come down to animation. You want to check static. You can see that all the animated light bulbs have been removed. You'll also notice that some of these graphics have little crowns, and when you hover over them, they say Pro. That means those are available with Canva Pro. If you'd like to have access to the Canva Pro items, I'll put a link in the description box below where you can try out the free trial of Canva Pro. So here are the graphics. Now I think I'm actually going to want to see what they have in the way of photos. So I'm going to come right up here and see where it says all graphics and photos. I'm going to click on photos. and I want to see what they have in the way of photos to place on my book cover. And here as well, you'll see that some are free and some are available with Canva Pro. I'm just going to scroll through here and see if there's one. If you are not finding something you like, feel free to search again. For instance, I'm going to type idea in the search box and see what kind of options I have now. Okay, so I think I see one I like. It's this one right here, and you can see it's only available with Canva Pro, which I have. If you wanted to search without seeing the Pro images, you can also come back to this filter box, and you will come down here to price. You will click on free, and it will filter out anything with the crown, and that way all of your options will be the free options. But since I have Pro, I'm going to go ahead and just leave it. And I'm going to select this photo right here, the man holding the light bulb. So when I click on it, it's going to pop up over here on my canvas, as you can see there. So for this one, I think I'm going to center the image. So you can see as I'm bringing it down, I'm actually going to bring it all the way down. And then I think I want to stretch it. To do that, I'm just going to grab one of the corners, and then I'm going to move it until I see the center line appear. That's how you know that the image is centered. And then I'm going to click off to the side. So here we have our background color. It's really attention grabbing, the bright, bold yellow. And then we have our main focal point for this design. You want to focus on one design. You don't want to clutter it up with, let's say you were doing a money-making book. You don't want to have like dollar signs and then money and then a man with the briefcase. That is just too chaotic. You want to kind of stick with one design. Like, so if your book was about, saving or paying off debt or something, you would maybe want to have just a piggy bank or something like that. So try to choose one main focal point for your book cover, just to get the message across quickly and easily at first glance. So now we want to create our title. To do that, we're going to come back over here to this toolbar, and the third option is text. If we click on that, down here we have a lot of pre-made title options. You could choose one of those, but I prefer to come up here and design my own. So I'm going to click on the first option, add a heading. It's going to drop a text box over here on my design. I'm going to grab it and bring it up, and then I'm going to double click in there. I'm just going to call it marketing your idea. Okay. So I've just come up with this, basic title, and I'm going to bring this box up slightly, make sure it's centered. And then now we need to choose a font, because this font is really too plain, actually. I know it's clear and easy to read, but it is just too plain, and we need to change that. Your text always defaults to Canva Sans, so you can just come up here to where you see it says Canva Sans, and we're going to click the down arrow. When you do that, you're going to get a wide variety of font options over here on the toolbox on the left. Of course, you'll see some with the crown as well, but there are many options that are free. So you can begin clicking on those, and once you click on a choice, you can see that your text box actually changes to that font, so you can try out quite a few and find one that you like. You also want to make sure that it is in line with your theme or your business. And for business, I recommend sticking with, something really clear and easy to read. You don't want to have something like this. It's a little bit harder to read. Look at this. See how difficult it is to read that? Here's another example. So you want to choose something that is in line with whatever you are selling or the subject matter of your book. Okay, I have landed on one that I really like. It's right here. It's called Alpha Slab 1, and it was one of the free options. And you can see what it looks like here. You see how big and bold and easy it is to read from a great distance. You want to make sure that you choose something like this, because whether you have it on Amazon or your website, it's going to be shrunken down to a really small thumbnail image. That's why you want to make sure that your title can be easily read from a distance. So I'm going to make it slightly larger. There's several ways to do this. You can grab the corner of your text box and you can stretch it or shrink it. You can come up here to this font size. Right now it's at 124. You can scroll down and change that, or you can click the plus and minus. I prefer to just grab the corners. I'm just going to make it even with the guidelines. You can see that box appears. Okay, now I'm going to click off to the side, and that looks pretty good, but I can tell it needs something. Okay, so let's see what we can add to this. It looks a little too plain. So I'm going to come over here to Elements, We still have it set on idea, so we need to clear that. We can just click on the X and it will clear everything as well as the filters. Instead of searching for something, I'm just going to come down here to lines and shapes and click on see all. I think I'm going to choose this first option. It's a square, and you can see it pops up over here as an orange square. Okay, I'm going to show you how we're going to change that. If I wanted to change the color, I would come up here to the matching orange box and I would click in there and change the color. Now I actually don't want it to have any color. So when I come over here to document colors, this second option here, it's a blank box with a red line through it. It says no color. I'm going to click in there, but I do want it to have a border. To do that, I'm going to come up here where it has the color box, where now it shows that it has no color. Right next to it, it says border style. If you click on there, you'll have some options. Currently, the first box is checked, which means none, no border. The second option is a solid border, and then we have dashed lines and getting smaller. This one is just dots. I'm going to choose the solid border, which is the second option here. It defaults to a border weight of 4. I want it thicker, so I'm going to increase that to, let's see, maybe you can see the square is getting, let me move it so you can see right there. You can see that the black line is getting thicker. See as I increase it and thinner. I think I'm going to set it at a 20. The second slider is for corner rounding because you can see right now the corners are round. It's at 66. If I don't want it rounded corners, I would take it all the way to 0 and I have a perfect square. See the 90-degree angle, sharp edge corners. If I wanted it even more round, I would increase it to 100. I actually like where it was at 66. So I'm going to leave it there. And then I'm going to click off to the side. Okay, so now I have this empty square box that I'm actually going to place around my words. And to do that, I'm just going to stretch the side out. So I think I'm going to have to make my wording smaller. Let me move this aside right now. I want to make this box even with those guidelines on the side so you can see they appear. Once I have it to the size I want, I'm going to click off to the side and now I'm going to bring my words back up. And now you can see they're too large, so I'm going to grab the corner and drag it in. Center it again and click off to the side. I don't want the top of this light bulb touching the title, so I can either do two things. I can either drag the whole photo down, or I can make it slightly smaller by dragging the corner in and then bringing him down. Okay, I think that looks much better if I had him slightly smaller. If you want to bring the whole title down, first you're going to click on the text and it brings that down and then the box. Okay, an easier thing you can do so you can bring them down together is put it back. If you click on the border, hold down your shift and then click on your text box. Now you have chosen both of them and you can move them together. You can also click on group and now they are joined together. And so when you click on them, they move up and down anywhere you want together. You always have the option of ungrouping them if you want to separate them again. But right now I'm going to leave them grouped together so that I can move them together. So we have our book title and we have our main focal image. Now we need to add an author name. To do that, we're going to come back over to our toolbar and click on text. This time I'm going to select add a subheading. It's going to give me a smaller text box and I'm going to bring that down. Okay, so I'm going to just come up with a fake name, Dan Lindsay. I want to see how it looks in the center. Of course, we cannot see it because of this tie. Before we change the color and everything, I want to change the font. I'm not happy with this Canva Sans. So I'm going to come up here to Canva Sans. And again, I'm going to click on the down arrow and then just kind of scroll through here and see. Okay, I think I like this one, this Archivo Black. It's really basic, simple, but it's different from our title. Okay, I need to make sure that you can read it against this black tie. So there's several things I can do. I can leave it black and then come up here to Effects. Once you click on Effects, you have a variety of options here to add a shadow, a lift. I'm going to see what it looks like if I add an outline. Once I click on that, the default color is usually gray. I'm going to change that. Let's see what yellow looks like. And then I can increase the thickness right here. It is currently set at 50. Let's see what happens when I don't know why it does this kind of glitchy thing over here when you do that. It always does this, but I'm just going to actually type it in here because it's glitching when I drag it. Okay, so this is what it looks like if you add an outline around the name. So now, even though the words are in black, we can still read it against the black or gray tie. Okay, so I think the book looks really great like this. Of course, this is only our first book option. So we're going to quickly just move a few things around and I can show you how easily you can make a second book cover option. So first thing we're going to do is add a second page. If you wanted to start from scratch, completely different photos and things like that, you would click down here, add a page. The only thing that would transfer over is your background color, which you could always change. Let's say you wanted to see what it looked like in a blue option. So you could easily click on the box and try it out, in like a business blue. Actually, it's kind of dark for business blue, but something like that. And then you can start from scratch with a different photo and everything. I'm going to click on delete page because I don't want to do that. I actually want to just take everything we've done and kind of just switch it up. So to do that, I'm going to come up here where it says duplicate page. This is the upper right of our design, and you'll see it says duplicate page in the center. If you click on that option, you're going to get your whole book cover design transferred to a second page. See, it has everything already done. So this is what's going to make it so easy to make a second design. So just make sure you're not on page 1 because this is our original design. Make sure you're down here and it says page 2. Okay, the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of this box. So the first thing I have to do is ungroup them because remember we grouped the text box and the border together. So I'm going to ungroup. Click off to the side, and then now I can click on the words and the border. I want to make sure I'm clicked on the border, and I'm going to click the little trash can to delete it. Oh, right. The next thing I want to do is I want to move these words around. I'm actually going to make it on 3 lines. So I'm going to, and right now they are center aligned. I'm going to change that. So you can change it to right align, left and left aligned. I want them all left aligned. See, they are all lined up with the left side of the text box. Okay, I'm going to move his name around for just a second. And then I'm going to move my little guy here. I'm going to move him over here and I'm going to make him smaller. So I'm moving him over to the right. I'm going to bring these words down right around him. I'm going to make them slightly larger and I'm going to move him over again just a little bit. Now I'm going to pretend like this was a, part of a book series or something like that. So I'm going to add sort of a banner up here. To do that, I'm going to come over here to elements. And we've already have our lines and shapes selected. If you didn't, it would actually look like this when you clicked on elements and you would just choose line and shapes. I'm going to click the square again, but this time I'm not going to remove the color. I'm just going to change the color. So I'm going to come up here to the orange box, click in there, and then I'm going to choose black and keep in with our yellow and black theme. And so now I have a black box here. Let me see if I can change that border because you can see it's rounded. I don't want a rounded corner, so I'm going to click on border style. And I'm going to come down here to corner rounding and I'm going to remove that because I don't want the corners rounded. Click off to the side. So you can see we have a perfectly square box. Now I'm going to bring this up to the very top and stretch it out all the way across the top of our book. Bring it down slightly just to make it thicker. All right, so now we have this sort of like banner area where we can, let's say you have some information about your business or this was again part of a book series. I'm going to place a text box up in this area. So let's come back to text and let's add a subheading and it defaults to black. If I drag it up here, you're not gonna be able to see it. So let's go ahead and change the color first. We'll come up here to text color. You're gonna see an A with the rainbow line beneath it. You'll click in there. And again, you can choose any color you want. I'm going to keep with our yellow black theme by choosing a yellow. So you can see the subheading change to yellow. Now we can drag it up and we'll be able to see it. Okay, let's say this is part of a book series, or a course or something like that. Let's call it Build a Better Business series. Let's say this is book 1. So now we're letting people know that this is a book series. You can put this at the top of all of your books. We definitely need to change this font. I don't like this font. What was this, Dan Lindsay? Okay, let's change it to Archival Black so we can just kind of keep with the same theme. To do that, we can click in our text box, come up to Canvas Hands, the default, and instead of scrolling through looking for it, I know it's right there, but I just want to show you that you can easily find a recently used font or a font that's already on your design if you come to the top. See, it says Document Fonts. Alpha Slab 1 is the one we used here. Archival Black is the one down here. And then right now, is it checked on this one as Canvas Sans. So you can easily just click on the one you want that you've already used, which is right here, and you can see it changed. So I'm going to make sure that is centered. You'll know it's centered when the solid line appears. Okay, and you can make this larger again if you wanted to. There I'm increasing it just by clicking on the plus or decreasing it. If you wanted to add any more elements, or the designs, maybe a small little icon or something, you can come over here to Elements. Let's get out of our lines and shapes. We have to click the arrow to go back. And I'm just going to type in business and look under graphics. Let's say you wanted to keep with your light bulb theme. You can click on that and you're going to get a little light bulb. You can make it smaller, and most of these you can change the color. If there's a graphic that you cannot change the color, you won't see a color box here. But since there is, that means we can go in there. We can change the color. It's yellow. You can't see it, but so for instance, let's say you wanted to add some sort of graphic up here. You could do that if it's part of your, sort of icon. Okay, so now I want to delete it and I can't. And the reason I can't, it's actually a good thing this happened so I can show you. Let's say you decided, oh, I don't really like that light bulb. Oh, I can't get rid of it. What's going on? The reason is because your text box is over it. To adjust that, you can come up here to position, and you can either arrange it by moving things backward and forward, but a newer method that I am so glad Canva finally added is right here. It's layers. This is how usually Photoshop and everything else works in layers. You click on this tab, and now you can see all the layers of your design. Here is a light bulb that I want to get rid of, but it's behind this text box. So all I have to do is drag it above it. Drag it above it, and now that is over. So now when I want to click on it, I can. So let's say I decided, no, I don't like that. I'm going to delete it. And so that's how, if you ever can't grab something, that's usually the reason. Just remember, come up to position and make sure you're on the layers tab, and then you can move your layers around. Okay, so let me just kind of adjust a few things. I want to bring this marketing up now because it seemed like it was too low. And if for some reason I'm not able to get that center lined up here, again, I can go up to position. This time I want to make sure I'm on the arrange tab. And if you come right here, you'll see that it says center. Once I click on center, it moved it right over to the center. And so now it's grayed out, showing me it has already been centered. Okay, so I brought that up. Here's our guide. Okay, let's adjust the name. I no longer need it outlined with the yellow. So I'm going to come up to effects, and I'm just going to click on none. And now I think it's a little bit too large. So I'm going to make it smaller just by clicking the minus. Let's try 62. Let's see how that looks. I'm going to bring it over and bring it up. So make sure it's in our purple guide box. Now I'm going to click off to the side. Okay, so now we have two totally different designs for our marketing book. If you want to see them side by side, you can come down here to the lower right and click on Grid View. And here you're going to be able to see page 1 and page 2, and you can see how similar they are yet different. Now I'm going to show you how to download them, and we'll take a look at them. I'm going to come back down and close Grid View. And then, before we download them, let's go ahead and add a title to our project. If we decide we want to come back and work on this, we want to be able to find it easily. So let's just call it Marketing Book Covers, because there's two. Now we're going to go over here to Share, and we're going to come down to Download. It defaults to PDF standard because it thinks you want to print it. Since I'm just going to show this to you guys, I'm going to choose PNG. And right here it says all pages too. Yes, I want all pages to be downloaded. If for some reason you only wanted to download the first one, then you could uncheck the second one or whichever ones you don't want. But I do actually want both of them, so I'm going to click on Done and Download. It only takes a second for this bar to get across, unless you have like many pages or a more complex design, then it will take slightly longer. Okay, since there were 2 pages, it's going to open in a zip. I have to open the folder now, and let's open our 2 designs and check them out side by side. So here we have our 2 business marketing books side by side, so we can check these out. We can see that we have 2 totally different designs here, giving not only ourselves an option of which to choose from, but if you have followers or an audience, you can create a voting graphic or just post them on your Facebook or Instagram and just say, do you like book cover A or book cover B? And then you can just tally up those votes and decide on your final book cover. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If it helped you in any way, please let me know in the comment section below, and feel free to suggest some other book cover styles or genres you'd like to see me create in the future. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to update you about future videos. So thanks again for watching, liking, and subscribing. Until next time, bye-bye.